past, ISIS has used children to carry out executions, beheadings, shootings. We've seen the video of that before, Eric. ISIS isn't alone. Al-Qaeda has done the same thing, as we've seen in the past. The Taliban has done that in Afghanistan, Boko Haram in Africa, and also other radical Islamic groups such as Hamas. Hamas recruits children and younger fighters to carry out, or at least to fight, against Israel. I saw that, Eric, when I was in Gaza recently. Billboards showing children, in my estimation, as young as 10 or 11 years old, and my translator agreed with this, dressed in military fatigues and holding an AK-47. So obviously, serious concern about ISIS increasing the use of these young recruits. Eric,
just so sad. John, thank you so much for your insight.
So it was more than a year ago when Hillary Clinton said that she had deleted her personal email because there was nothing worth reading in them. Remember this?
I chose not to keep my private personal emails. Emails about planning Chelsea's wedding or my mother's funeral arrangements, condolence notes to friends, as well as yoga routines, family vacations.
Well, we know from the FBI testimony that there were indeed work-related emails among those, and what a difference a year makes now. We learned that thousands of new emails talk about quite a bit more than yoga. In fact, I don't think they found any yoga emails in there as far as I know. So people want answers. They want to know about the FBI investigation and how it operated. All of this is gaining steam.
Do you think that's just a coincidence? Make no mistake, when you donate millions and millions of dollars, what are you asking for?
And as we have been reporting this morning, stunning new evidence pointing towards a potential pay-for-play operation between Hillary Clinton's State Department and the Clinton Foundation. Thousands of newly uncovered emails and phone messages have revealed prominent foundation donors received special access to then-Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, even though Mrs. Clinton and the Clinton campaign insist there was no wrongdoing. Not true, says Judicial Watch, the conservative advocacy group that brought that Freedom of Information Act lawsuit to get the emails. It says the new emails are proof of shocking conflicts of interest and bad faith.
Mrs. Clinton swore under penalty of perjury that as best as she knew, all these records, all government records have been turned over. But this court hearing today demonstrated that wasn't the case.
The new batch may include thousands of work-related emails, but Mrs. Clinton claimed repeatedly that she had already turned over all of her work-related emails to the State Department.
We went through a thorough process to identify all of my work-related emails and deliver them to the State Department.
I turned over everything I was obligated to turn over, and then I moved on. I turned over everything that I could imagine.
When I see you are interviewed, you make a point of saying, I turned over everything.
All my work-related emails.
How do you know that?
I know that because there was an exhaustive search done under the supervision of my attorneys.
But that apparently is not the case. Rich Lowry, editor of National Review and Fox News contributor. Brad Woodhouse, president of Correct the Record and former communications director for the DNC, member of Hillary PAC. Welcome to you both.
Hi.
Washington Post this morning, front page. Donors given access to Clinton. I mean, Rich, they told us this isn't the case. Campaign manager Abby Mook says there's a complete separation, full transparency. Nothing to see here, folks. What does this mean?
This is a gross distortion, Eric, of how our government is supposed to work. People gave money to the Clinton Foundation. In exchange, they got access to high government officials who are supposed to be focused on doing the public's work, not doing the work of some other private interest. So this is horrifying, and a lot of the media is trying to set up this new distinction. Oh, they're just paying for access. We have no evidence they actually bought policy or state action. But buying access is bad enough. It's disgusting, and it's why people think our government is broken and can't be trusted.
Brad, how do you explain this?
Well,
Well, look, Rich, first of all, you have no proof that anyone bought access. I mean, the fact is there are plenty of people who would give to a foundation. They may give to the Clinton Foundation. They may give to the Gates Foundation. They may give to any foundation in America, and they might still have business before the State Department. That doesn't mean ergo that they have.
Have you seen the emails, Brad?
Access.
Have you seen the emails where Doug Band is emailing Huma Abedin saying this guy's very important to us, he needs a meeting, and she's responsive to that? Brad, you can't deny it. It is in black and white in these emails that Hillary Clinton tried to hide from the public for exactly this reason.
That doesn't mean that through other means or other channels, those people wouldn't have gotten the same meeting. I mean, you act like, Rich, you've never sent an email to anyone asking them for a meeting.
Brad, let me interrupt you both.
Wait a minute, Rich.
Brad, this is not supposed to happen. They're not supposed to go around the loop over to the Clinton Foundation. Let me read you 2 emails specifically that deal with a big donor to the global initiative. This guy's name is Casey Wasserman. He's a sports marketing agent. Mrs. Clinton's having a fundraiser. Before I read this, I'm going to tell you about the guy in Beverly Hills. His foundation apparently gave $5 to $10 million to the Clinton Foundation, hired Bill Clinton for like $3 million in a consulting fee. And here's the email. They're trying to get apparently a visa for a British soccer player, which they can't get. So what do they do? They go right to Huma. And here's the email from her. I doubt we can do anything, but maybe we can help with an interview. I'll ask. I got this now. Makes me nervous to get involved, but I'll ask. Band replies, then don't. Mrs. Abedin, Huma, is admitting right there she's nervous. She knows something is wrong.
She basically
realizes
said no.
This is not good.
She said, in not so many words, she declined. In not so many words, she declined the request. I mean, that's a courteous way of declining a request. I mean, what y'all want to do is paint the worst possible.
I got to give Brad credit. He is earning his pay this morning. This is a real manful effort. But there's a reason Casey Wasserman, he could have just given to the Red Cross. He didn't have to give to the Clinton Foundation. And why all these political donors, why all these foreign interests, hold on, Brad, the reason why they gave the Clinton Foundation is they knew Doug Band worked for a former president, was tied in perhaps to a future president and to the current Secretary of State, and they could get government favors for it. Brad, that is just plain as day. There's no way to deny it. Don't even try.
That is not plain as day. That is not plain as day. You don't have a shred of evidence to suggest that anything untoward occurred. I mean, emails about meetings are what, Rich? They're emails about meetings.
Brad, that's access. That's what the critics are claiming.
For access.
30 seconds left. Brad, what's going to happen? She's going to get indicted? What's going to happen?
Well, of course she's not going to get indicted. She already hadn't gotten indicted. We already had an FBI director that Republicans love and have praised through the years who said that no reasonable prosecutor would bring any case related to these emails. They have a dumpster fire of a candidate on their side, so they want to continue to peck at this issue to try to save down ballot candidates from Donald Trump.
In sheer political terms, Eric, I think the Clinton email, just the fact that she used the private email, is baked into the cake. People decided about that. But what they haven't decided about, what they haven't really heard for, is this kind of pay for play. And it's a major vulnerability of hers and a major test for Donald Trump. He needs to make sure this week is about nothing else. Nothing else except for these Clinton emails.
Well, she told us it's all about the yoga and the wedding, and all this stuff was turned over, and that's not the case. Brad and Rich, thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Well, get them out. Get them out.